This was a birthday gift from Ashton and Kent. Yeah. This is not cabbage. It is let us pray.
Yes.
Oh. So Mom said, is that cabbage? And I think I thought it was cabbage too. Well, if all of you are wondering whether we're going to end the world on the 23rd, we're still here.
We made it.
We made it. And Virgo and Leo hooked up and all that. And so today is, if you're in the Jewish calendar, today is New Year's Day.
Yes.
It's a brand new year. Rosh Hashanah is over, and it's time for us to start a new year. And I thought, what a good chance to have a fresh start. You're never too far along to get a fresh start. And I tell you what, some of you need a fresh start. I feel it. And let's start today, all right? Go to John chapter 4. I'm going to be there pretty much all day. Well, I don't mean that literally, but some of you want to run for the door. John chapter 4, everybody's heading to where everybody expects everybody to go, you know? And then Jesus says something peculiar. First of all, I want to touch on something. I'm probably going to make people mad already, so let's just get it over with. In verse 1 it says, therefore when the Lord knew the Pharisees had heard that Jesus made and baptized more disciples than John, though Jesus himself did not baptize. Right. If baptism was that big a deal, don't you think Jesus would have made sure to do it? Right. I mean, if he's here the way, the truth, and the life, I think that he would have made sure before he left town, he had everybody baptized. The only reason I'm bringing that up is that, you know what, when you start diluting Jesus and adding things to him, you start to diminish the power in the name. There's one name given under heaven where men must be saved. It's the name of Jesus. It's his blood. It's his sacrifice. He's everything. Because here's what's happening. Listen to me. If you start whittling down and start adding stuff like baptism and tithing or what, you know, there's certain religions you got to tithe to go to heaven. Why we didn't write that one in? I don't know what was our problem. But anyway, you know what that does? It starts tacking stuff on you to do. The next thing you know, the devil's pointing his finger back at you, and you're grading yourself on your performance, and there goes your grace, and there goes your victory right at the window. You're right back under the law and didn't even know it. So let's just start there. But it's to say, he left Judea and departed again to Galilee, but he needed, everybody say needed, to go through Samaria. Now let me just show you something about Samaria. The Samaritans and the Jews did not get along at all. In fact, Jews would not travel from Galilee to Judea and go through Samaria, but they would walk all the way around the border, and it was that place right there is 90 miles wide. So they would trek 180 miles out of the way just to not step foot in Samaria. Now that's okay if you've got a car or four-wheeler, but when you're on a camel, that is a long sacrifice to keep up a grudge.
Good point.
Are you hearing me? Next page. Samaria. Why did the Jews hate Samaria? Because they thought of them as being polluted. They were known for compromising. They were known for entertaining pagan concepts. And they even opposed Israel and sided with their enemies at times. Yet they claimed the same lineage and birthright as Israel. Israel considered them to be scum, and there was some real bad blood between them. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So here's Jesus telling his disciples, I got to go through Samaria. And they're like going, what? We've got to do the 180-mile thing, right? Jesus goes walking right through Samaria, and he goes and he finds this well, and he sits down at the well.
Oh, come on, Pastor.
And then here comes this woman carrying her big pots to fill them up at noon. And then he says to her, give me a drink. Now see, I was raised in the South, and if I had been sitting on my fat round butt, and a woman come up carrying a big something in her arm, and first I didn't offer to help her with it, but secondly, I'm sitting on the ground going, hey, won't you draw me some water? I got slapped in the back of the head. Yeah. And so I'm sitting there going, Jesus, get up, man, what's the deal? You're making all those preachers look bad. They already think we don't do anything but eat fried chicken. Because see, he was there alone because his disciples had gone to buy food. And, you know, that's right. It was a Chick-fil-A day. Okay. Next page. See, if Jesus was truly famished, as he must have been, he would have gone with his disciples to buy food. Why was he asking for water from this woman? Because he wasn't driven by his flesh. He was on a mission. Why didn't he get up and draw his own water? Because he's setting this woman up. You better listen to me today. He's setting this woman up who has no future, no hope, no plan, no change ahead for her. She's on this treadmill of tragedy that she can't get off of, and he's fixing to offer her a ticket to get out of that place. And some of the biggest things that will come into your life won't look like they are something. They're nothing. But you know what? If you'll just be obedient in the little bitty things, he'll get you to something great, and he has it disguised as something ordinary. Next page. See, in Mark chapter 9, this is what he told us. He says, whoever gives you a cup of water to drink in my name because you belong to Christ, assuredly I say to you, he will by no means lose his reward. He's given this woman a chance to sow water into eternity, and she can reap a reward that she didn't qualify for. How does the kingdom work? It works just like that. If you don't have anything invested, you're not getting anything out of it. If you're not sowing yourself into it, you think God needs your money? He doesn't need your money. He needs your obedience. He needs you to let go of something that is precious to you and valuable to you. So then you qualify in the law of heaven to receive something of great value to him. How do you think he got us? He invested his son. He didn't give you some. Bring me that lame, really slow angel. Once always pick last in softball. Yeah, bring Fuddy Dud up here. He didn't send Fuddy Dud. He sent the very best. He sent the very best, the most precious, the most valuable. And I'm asking you this morning: are you giving him your scraps? Or are you giving him the very best you got? Anybody with me? Next page. Well, let's read this together. John chapter 4, verse number 8. Fuddy Dud? I'm really trying to say, I know I'm being filmed now, and so I have to watch my mouth and not say something that's politically incorrect or whatever. And I don't know when I'm being politically incorrect, so.
It's all good. I think you're okay with Fuddy Dud.
Fuddy Dud should have cleared all the fences. I'll get an email from the Fuddy Dud. We're mad that you scored. John 4, verse number 8. So the woman, let me get down here and say, verse number 9. So the woman of Samaria said to him, how is it you, being a Jew, ask a drink from me, a Samaritan woman? For Jews have no dealings with Samaritans. Jesus said to her, if you knew the gift of God and who it is who says to you, give me a drink, you would have asked him and he would have given you living water. And the woman said to him, watch this, sir, you have nothing to draw with and the well is deep. Where then do you get this living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us this well and drunk from it himself, as well as his sons and his livestock? And I studied this a long time, Rick, and I'm going to tell you something. I got something I've never seen before. You know what her question was? Basically, I have already been labeled by my people. I know my status in life, my stature. I know where I'm allowed to go and where I'm not allowed to go. I know what my mistakes in life have bought me. And I'm trying to ask you that as far as I can tell, Jacob is the highest rung on this ladder. He's the one who has set all this in motion. How can you come in here and tell me that you can give me a drink of water that can bring life to this misery? Are you greater? And I'm going to tell you right now, don't you look at me. We're surrounded with a world that has that very same question. Are you greater than this drug addiction? Are you greater than this death that I'm swallowed up? Are you greater than this habit I cannot be? Are you greater because I can't find anything stronger in this world than what I'm facing every day when I get up? And this woman, before she's about to take a drink of the Kool-Aid, she wants to know, is this really going to work? How are they going to know? Unless it's working in me. how can I sell it to them?
Right.
And I love what Jesus did. Let me just read it so I don't mess it up.
Praise Jesus.
Verse number 13. Jesus answered and said to her, whoever drinks of this water, whoever drinks of what you've got already, it's never going to feel. See, I'm going to tell you something. You know what? People are drug addicts and alcoholics there because what they're searching for is not the drug. It's the thing they're missing. The thing that we're filling our lives with to try to numb ourselves to the life is not found. The answer is not found in this plane. The answer is found in heaven. And the only thing that will fill it is a relationship with Jesus. And he's saying, you drink this water, you're going to have to keep coming back. I'm not condemning you for drinking the water. I'm just telling you, you're never going to find what you're looking for right here. But if you take one drink of me,
come on.
That's good.
I took a drink in 1983.
Come on.
I was as worldly as you can get. If you want to name anything, I did it. And when I got up off that floor, I didn't want it anymore.
Hallelujah.
I didn't know what I just stepped into. I was kind of walking around like a bomb had just gone off.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah.
But I knew something had changed in me. Has that happened in your life? And if it has, are we still clinging to that drink, or have we gone back to that well? And so here's what her response was. This is priceless to me. Y'all still with me?
Yes.
And the woman said, sir, give me this drink. Give me that water. That's what I've been looking for. See, at some point, you're going to have to come to a place where you say, I don't care what this means in my life. See, there were many chances for me to get born again before 1983, but I wasn't willing to let go of the stuff that I had in my life. I wanted that other water because I could at least depend upon what that did in my life. I was afraid of what the void would be. But at some point, you got to say, just give me that water then. I don't care what it costs me. I don't care what it does for me. I don't care how many friends I lose. I don't care how many relationships I lose. I want the water. How many of you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Sir, give me this water. And then Jesus does something really interesting. He says to her, go call your husband and come here. Sometimes I have a harder time getting people lost than I do getting them saved. Because we all want to somehow come to Jesus and impress him with our own righteousness. Like, I'm not as bad as you think. I'm really, really close. And the irony is you're so far away you can't even see the Bible. You can drag all that mess up there you want, and it's not worth a cotton picking thing. And so he gave her a little test, an honesty test. But it wasn't to embarrass her. Listen to me, please. He said, go call your husband. And she said, I don't have a husband. He said, I know you've had 5. And the one you're living with now won't even respect you enough to give you his last name. That's why you're here at noon, not in the morning. Because all the other women come in the morning. See, not only does this woman understand Samaritan's position in the world, she understands her own. She's drawn water at noon, not in the morning like everybody else. She doesn't want to face the others and feel their stare, hear their whispers. Because there's a pecking order in life.
Oh, yeah.
Before she entertains this stranger's request, she wants to know, is he capable of really changing her position? Can he really redefine who she is? I'm begging us this morning to not keep playing religious Russian roulette, but to throw all in and drink the water this morning. I don't care if you've been in church or call yourself a Christian for 50 years. That's not what I'm asking. I'm saying, where are we today? Are we living that abundant life, or are we still drinking that same old stuff and calling it life? And I'm saying there's more, there's got to be more, or we would be gone. If there's not more of God here, then we'd be there with Him. But He's wanting to do more and show you more. And I guarantee you that whatever thing you have to let go of to let Him have more of you is not worth hanging on to.
That's right.
Next page. If I was in that group of disciples, I can guarantee you I would have probably been Peter. Peter never had the right thing to say, and he always did the wrong thing at the wrong time. And so they come bebopping back into to where the well is, where Jesus is, and they've all got Chick-fil-A, and they're looking at him going, and they're thinking, why is he talking to her?
What is up with that?
Of course, they had enough sense not to say that. I heard a story one time Billy Graham told that she was this like right-hand man, right-hand woman of Kenneth Hagin when he first started. And of course, when he came out with his new revelation about the Word, and it was just so radical in the day that nobody, it was like the only one. And then Kenneth Copeland came along. And he started preaching down in Texas. And Billy got wind of that, and she was so mad. She said, I cannot wait to tell Brother Hagin that somebody's copying him, not even giving him credit. I said, Brother Hagin walked in the office and said, there's a man, they came to him and said, there's a man named Kenneth Copeland down in Texas, and he's preaching the same thing. He started going, hallelujah. And said, Brother Billy went, hallelujah. Change just right like that. And I've heard Pastor Judy say this so many times, said that Jesus was so not concerned with the things that concern us that they had to beg him to eat. They had to remind him, you still have to live here and make that body work. And so when the disciples came back and didn't say that, they said, they made a question and said, aren't you hungry? And he said, I got food you guys don't even understand. And I want to say to some of you in this room, when you ever step across that line of it being all about you, and you start to influence the lives of others for Jesus, and you get to pray for them and watch them get saved or get healed, you will be hooked for life, because that food satisfies, that nothing over here can touch being in the place where God uses you like the glove and does something with you. And so as I finish this story, the woman then left her water pot and went her way into the city and said to the men, come see a man who told me all the things that I ever did. Could this be the Christ? Then they, you know the they, right? The ones that would talk about her, the ones that would look down on her and spread rumors about her and giggle about her at the well. Suddenly that same they are not looking at her the same way, because she's not the same girl anymore. And when she came trotting into town saying, come meet the Christ, none of them said, well, you're a woman. They didn't even say that. They jogged back out because they saw that the woman that got up that morning with a pot in her hand wasn't the same woman that's running back into town. You know one of the ways you can tell? She left her burden sitting by the well. Somebody help me. Next page. So what is the big deal? Why did Jesus do this? Well, this is the part of the story that just blows me away. You know the well he's sitting at, right? That's Jacob's well. That's where all the trouble started. Okay. Jacob made a deal with a man named Shechem. And in Shechem, I'll just read it to you. See, the well was located on land purchased by Jacob from Shechem. And Shechem later goes in and rapes Jacob's daughter Dinah. Yes, sir. And so this is now polluted. This could pollute or intermingle their races. And so the Shechem people and Jacob's people, they've got to make a covenant. And so so that this thing can be, they can have a marriage ceremony. And so Jacob's sons demand that all of Shechem's males be circumcised. Sir. There was no such thing as Novocaine back then. And I'm telling you, they take the flinty rock out. This is a big ordeal. And all the men are there. And they said that Jacob's kids waited 3 days until they're all swollen and sore. Then they go through and kill them all with a sword. Needless to say, the Samaritans and the Jews don't get along after this. But isn't it like God to go to the place where the daughter of Zion is treated like a harlot and find the harlot and turn her into the daughter of Zion? Because some of you, if you're going to fix what's wrong, you got to go back where it started. And you got to undo that right there. You got to fix that. And when you do that, the whole thing unravels and falls apart. And there's some of you in this room that you don't even know who you are. You don't know what's been done. The reason why I picked the songs we sang this morning is that you got to realize that you've been set free. And there's some of us here that have gotten so free, we've forgotten we were bound. And we start judging others by our own righteousness. And we got to realize that's not our job at all. Next page. 2 Corinthians 5. We got to read this whole from there on down. Because see, everybody starts at verse number 17. If any man be in Christ. But if you read the verse before, it says, therefore from now on, watch this. We regard no one according to the flesh. I do not look at you and gauge who you are by how you're behaving. I'm not to look at how you're behaving or where you are in the flesh. I'm going to see what Jesus has made of you in the spirit, and that's what I'm going to address. I'm never going to look down on where you're at. I'm going to look to the one who's about to drink the water. Somebody help me today. Even though we have known Christ, this is Paul preaching. Even though we've known him according to the flesh, yet now we know him that way no longer. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. Next page. Now watch this, verse number 18. Now all things are God. This is all together. In other words, here's our new covenant. You want to know what our job is? Our job is to not run around and hold up signs telling the homosexuals they're going to hell. That's not our job. My job is to not look at what's wrong with them. Look at what Jesus has made of them and speak to the King, and the King will appear. Come on. What are we here to do? We're all things are God who has reconciled us. You know what the word reconciled means? Traded places. Traded places. It doesn't mean I'm trying to work my way to get there. I'm already there, right? Yeah. I'm not trying to get there. He just traded with me. He became my sin. He became my failure. Not just at Calvary, every day. Come on. How come it works when we get saved and then the rest of the time we're trying to do it on our own? You got to trade places every day. Yeah. I'm seated with him in heavenly places. Yeah. He has reconciled us to himself through Jesus Christ and has given us the ministry of reconciliation. Isn't it funny that Jesus never told her a list of things she needed to do better? That's right. He didn't give her a book of self-help. He said, get a drink. Yeah. What you need is a drink. You need me. Now watch this. And God was in Christ reconciling the world to himself, not imputing their trespasses to them. If he does that for the world, how much you think he loves you this morning? Amen. If you're already in the family, he's not up there grading you and giving you gold stars for penmanship.
Thank you, God.
Y'all don't even know what that means, do you? They don't even teach you how to write anymore in school. What's cursing? Is that when you write a bad word? Church humor. Not imputing their trespasses to them and has committed to who? Us. Who's got this? Put yourself inside, it means me. What is my ministry? I'm here to reconcile people. I'm here to reconcile. I'm here to tell them that you don't have to worry about God being mad at you because He's already wiped you off the books. I don't care what you're doing. You're already free. Quit running from God because He's running to get you, not to hurt you, but to bring you home. Next page. Now then. Okay, let's review. I'm not to look at you in the flesh. I'm not to judge you in the flesh. Isn't it so much easier than having to catalog everybody's sin? Isn't that right, Kevin? You know, have to remember, oh, he's the sorry one. No, he's the. You know, I don't have to keep up with all that. I can just look at you and say, Jesus, 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 Jesus. That's all I got to do. All I got to remember is one name. I don't have to worry about what you did or how many times you hurt me or what you've been guilty of or not guilty. I don't know, because I'm going to regard you in the flesh. My job is to look at you in the spirit. And so let me tell you something. What you're going to find out is when you quit being critical of others, that spirit leaves your home. And now the devil can't use your critical spirit to criticize you. Watch what I'm saying. Now then, we are ambassadors for Christ, as though God were pleading through us. Do you dare to even look at that sentence and ask, what does that mean? He's saying our job is to act like God is speaking through us.
Yes. Wow.
Imploring. There's not a stronger word in the English language to say I implore you. It's almost like I've got you in a headlock and I'm busting you in the face of the gospel. God said He loves you. It doesn't work. Doesn't work, but I sometimes want to do it.
Laying on of hands repeatedly.
Okay.
You secretly want to be arrested.
I'm always going to be arrested. Are you kidding? I've actually been arrested or wear a mask. I've been telling you. I had a preacher friend that did that for extra money. He studio wrestling, wear a mask. He said he wrestled twice on Saturday, once with a mask and once without. They never knew the difference. He was always the fall guy, you know.
El Guapo.
It's real something. Be reconciled to God, for He had made Him who knew no sin to be sin for us, that we might become the righteousness of God in Him. Here's what I'm trying to say. You want a fresh start? It starts today. You got to write off this stuff that you're letting the devil beat your brains out with. You got to write it off. I don't care if you're still doing it. You don't even regard yourself.
Come on.
If you regard in your flesh, you can't see anybody else but in the flesh. But if you start looking in the mirror, the perfect law of liberty, start talking to the King that's in you, I guarantee you, you don't have to worry about that bad stuff that you're doing. It's going to dissolve in the light of His presence. And instead of you trying to work on it in the flesh, get in the Spirit.
Yeah. Come on.
Next page. Almost done. We're ready for our professor. Don't you stand with me? Give me some good, happy. Let's put that holding nothing back on me. That's kind of day it is, right here.
Yeah.
Great word.
I want you guys to hear me now. I heard that. Here's the deal. Before we say this, Professor, let me pray with you. What water do you need to quit drinking? And what water do you need to take a hold of? First of all, pray with me, Lord. I just pray that every condemning spirit, those areas where we think we're superior to others, Lord, let us quit seeing that and saying it. Let us look with compassion and love on the sin of others and quit cataloging it, but begin to speak life and regard them in the spirit and not in the flesh. Lord, let us regard ourselves in the spirit and not in the flesh. Those voices that condemn us, the reason it works is it's true, but we're not going to agree with it. We're going to plead the blood. We thank you, Lord, that we are set free. This is a new beginning. Those areas that have dragged us to the bottom are not going to have any place to hold on to us anymore, because the only thing they can hold on to is our agreement and our allowing them to exist, and we will not. We thank you that we're set free. We thank you that we're delivered. We thank you that this is the first day, a new day, a fresh day. And this is where I want to start and go. I don't want to be talking to and agreeing with infirmity. I don't want to be talking to and agreeing with failure. I don't want to be talking to and agreeing with shortcomings. I thank you, Lord God, that you have redeemed us from falling short of the glory of God. And as we say this confession this morning, we ask you to make it real. Now, with every head bowed and every eye closed, just for a second. You come in this morning and you're ready to make a change.